Picture standing at the very edge of everything we know. Not the edge of a city or a country, but the outer rim of our entire solar system. Out there, past every planet you learned about in school, strange worlds drift in total darkness, and one of them might still be waiting to be found. For over 100 years, astronomers have chased a shadow. They call it Planet 9, a possible giant world hiding far beyond Neptune, maybe 10 times heavier than Earth. Nobody has ever seen it directly. What we have seen are its fingerprints. Dozens of small icy bodies out past Neptune move in ways that make no sense unless something huge and unseen is tugging at them. This search began almost by accident. In 2003, a scientist named Mike Brown and his team went looking for distant icy worlds and found one called Sedna. It was strange from the start, moving on a long stretched-out path that no ordinary object should follow. Soon more objects with equally odd orbits turned up. Some crossed paths with Neptune. Some moved backward compared to the planets. Researchers realized there was a pattern, and the only explanation that fit was a hidden planet quietly bending everything around it through gravity. Finding proof is far harder than spotting the clue. A distant planet reflects almost no sunlight, so even our best telescopes struggle to catch it. Years of searching with major sky surveys turned up nothing. Then a team from Taiwan, led by Professor Tomosugu Goto and student Terry Long Fan, tried something different. Instead of hunting for reflected light, they searched for heat. Planets glow faintly in infrared, even without sunlight helping them. They compared two old infrared sky surveys taken more than 20 years apart, one from a satellite launched in 1983 and another from 2006. Out of more than 2 million objects, they narrowed the search down using the exact orbit and distance a real Planet 9 should have. Eventually, only one object remained that matched everything scientists expected. It showed up as a few warm pixels in one image, then reappeared a small distance away 23 years later. It might be nothing. But it might also be the first ever photograph of Planet 9. Other explanations exist too. Some scientists think there is no single planet at all, but instead a whole belt of smaller objects working together to create the same pull, similar to structures found near the centers of other galaxies. Others suggest something wilder still, a captured black hole no bigger than a football, formed in the earliest moments after the Big Bang, invisible unless it happens to be feeding on something nearby. A newer telescope called Vera Rubin, built with the largest camera sensor ever made, is now scanning the sky and could finally settle the question within a few years. While Planet 9 remains hidden, another discovery already reshaped the solar system once before. In 2005, Mike Brown's team spotted a small point of light moving impossibly slowly across the sky, a sign that it was extremely far away. They eventually named it Eris, after the Greek goddess of chaos, and the name fit perfectly. Early measurements suggested Eris was slightly bigger than Pluto, and later calculations showed it was actually heavier. That single fact broke the solar system's neat count of 9 planets. If Pluto counted as a planet, so did Eris, and so might several other icy worlds just like it. Astronomers were forced into a fierce debate. In 2006, only a few hundred scientists were left at a conference in Prague when the vote happened. They decided a planet must do 3 things: orbit the Sun, be rounded by its own gravity, and clear away other objects near its path. Pluto failed that last test because it shares its region with countless other icy bodies. In an instant, Pluto and Eris both became dwarf planets, and the solar system shrank from 9 planets to 8. Later measurements revealed just how different Eris really is. It turned out to be almost exactly the same size as Pluto but noticeably heavier, meaning it is built mostly from rock instead of ice. Its icy outer shell reflects nearly all the sunlight that touches it, making it one of the brightest objects in the entire solar system. Eris even has its own moon, nicknamed after chaos itself, which helped scientists calculate its mass precisely using simple orbital math. Beyond Eris and Pluto lies the Kuiper Belt, a vast ring of icy leftovers from the birth of the solar system 4.5 billion years ago. Unlike the rocky asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, the Kuiper Belt is made mostly of frozen ice, and it holds far more material spread across a much wider area. Neptune's gravity kept these icy chunks from ever combining into a proper planet, so they remained scattered fragments of a world that never finished forming. NASA's New Horizons spacecraft became the only mission ever to visit this region up close. In 2015, it flew past Pluto and revealed a huge glacier shaped like half of a heart, made of flowing nitrogen ice. Years later, it flew even farther out to a small, oddly shaped object nicknamed Arrokoth, which looked almost like a flattened snowman made of two joined pieces. That strange shape gave scientists strong evidence for how small icy bodies gently merge together at low speed to eventually build planets. Even farther out, past the edge of the Kuiper Belt, lies a boundary called the heliopause, where the sun's constant stream of particles finally gives way to the emptiness between stars. Two aging spacecraft, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, launched back in 1977, have already crossed into that space beyond our sun's influence. They found something scientists did not expect: magnetic bubbles and turbulence where calm, steady fields were predicted. Even now, decades after launch, these two small probes are still sending data home, though their power is slowly running out. Beyond even the Voyager probes lies the largest structure of all, the Oort Cloud, a colossal spherical shell of icy debris believed to surround the entire solar system. It was first proposed in 1950 by astronomer Jan Oort, who noticed that certain comets with incredibly long orbits all seem to come from roughly the same enormous distance, tens of thousands of times farther from the Sun than Earth is. No telescope has ever captured a direct image of it, since the debris is small, dark, and impossibly far away. Yet scientists remain confident it exists, supported by mathematical models and by the steady stream of comets that keep arriving from every direction in the sky. Taken together, these discoveries tell a bigger story. Our solar system is not the tidy, finished picture many of us grew up believing in. It is layered, messy, and still being mapped. A once solid boundary drawn at 8 planets has already been challenged once by Eris, and it may be challenged again by whatever Planet 9 turns out to be. Icy relics like Arrokoth show us how planets are built piece by piece. Aging spacecraft racing toward interstellar space keep surprising scientists with data nobody predicted. And somewhere out past even those probes, an invisible cloud of ancient debris may still be sending comets our way, exactly as it has done for billions of years. The search is far from finished. New telescopes are already scanning wider and deeper than ever before. Within the next few years, we may finally know whether a 10th major body truly circles our sun in the darkness, or whether the truth turns out to be something even stranger than anyone has imagined. Think about what that really means. Every single object described here, Eris, Arrokoth, the Kuiper Belt, the Oort Cloud, and the still unproven Planet 9, was found only because someone refused to accept an incomplete map. Pluto was once thought to be a lonely oddball at the edge of everything. Now we know it belongs to an entire family of icy worlds, some possibly larger and stranger than Pluto itself. What looked like empty darkness for most of human history turns out to be a crowded, active region full of frozen relics from the very birth of our solar system. There is also a quieter lesson hidden in all of this. Some of the biggest breakthroughs did not come from a brand new observation at all. The suspected image of Planet 9 came from data collected decades earlier, buried inside 2 old infrared surveys nobody had connected in quite that way before. Sometimes discovery is not about looking somewhere new, but about looking again, more carefully, at what was already there. So the next time you look up at a clear night sky, remember that everything visible to the naked eye, every star, every faint point of light, sits far closer to us than the true edge of our own solar system. Out past Neptune, past the Kuiper Belt, past even the fading signals of the Voyager probes, an ocean of icy, ancient material still drifts in near total silence. Somewhere inside that darkness, a hidden planet may be waiting. And somewhere beyond that, an entire cloud of primordial debris keeps sending its frozen messengers, the comets, back toward the sun, just as it has for over 4 billion years. The map of our solar system is still being drawn, and we may be closer than ever to adding the next chapter.